Are you guys ready to have your pants blown off? A lot of you said you wanted to know what it looked like down here underground, so we're going to draw you a map. Not only that, I'm going to teach you the stratigraphy of this down here so you understand the different layers and why they're there. And while we're at it, we're going to do some metal detecting for gold nuggets. Ooh, I got a big surprise for you on that one too. And the one thing y'all been waiting for, that's right. Why the heck was I in New York City? Well, you're just going to have to keep them pants on. Or wait a minute, I just blew them off, so what are you going to do? So I hope you brought 2 pairs of pants, because we're going to blow them both clean off. Well, this is where it all started, right here. Back in 2016 is when we dropped this shaft initially. There's our old pegboard right there that we used to use. Now, I get asked this a lot is, Jeff, what made you decide to start sinking a shaft right here? Now, I can sum that all up in one word, and that's research. We did about a year of research before we found this area. We saw that there was a lot of Chinese workings in the area, so we knew that there was placer ground down below. The question is how far down do we have to go to get to it, and where's the best place to dig? So after about a year of sampling, we've picked the best ground that we thought by triangulating all the other shafts that we saw in the area into the middle. Now, there's a formula that you use for that, okay? I'll go into detail about that in another video. So once we found the right spot, we sunk a shaft down 20 feet. When we got down here, we started finding little pieces of gold down here in the caliche seams, especially where it's mineralized, it's red. You can still see the gravels right there. About 6 months later, we started tapping into this red material here. Not a lot of gold, but enough to keep us going. Now, about 2017, we got to about this part right here. And we were still finding traces of gold on the false bedrock, which is the cemented caliche bed. Well, we also noticed that we were finding that gold in that red clay seam. And right about here, the concentration was the highest. And it had a dip of about maybe 30 degrees. Here's a good illustration right here. There's a little bit of gold in there, and then there's another one down here. And then that one had the most gold in it down there. Now here's a little dugout right here. And the reason why this is here is because this was the natural direction of our drift. As we continued advancing and chasing this seam, there's actually 3 of them. Here's the upper, the mid, and the lower. But the lower one was the one that had the highest concentrations of gold in it. So we started driving this incline in until we got down here about 2017. I wanted you to see this. You've got cemented caliche with a halo around it, a lens of the red gravel that's got a little bit of gold in it, and then this has nothing in it. Do you see that? Very interesting phenomena. It's almost like a concretion. Now, for most of you that have been around watching us dig this thing, you remember this little chamber right here. And like I said, we were chasing gravels down on this really hard cemented caliche, which I'm standing on now. The gold was getting better, so we started to branch off this way. Well, we decided to keep going down on this incline just to see what we would find, and we would put this off till a later date. In the meantime, we decided to install a honeypot. Now, for those of you out there that don't know what a honeypot is, it's where we keep our brown... and this is what ours looks like. That is a honeypot. It has served us well. In case you're wondering what the temperature is down here, it's about 60 degrees down here. It normally stays about anywhere from 60 to 70 degrees year-round down here. And it feels good, but it's a little humid because of all the moisture in the clay seam. So things have a tendency of rusting down here. You sweat a lot. And that's why I always tell you, who needs a gym? Just be a gold miner. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jeff, what's inside that honeypot? You want me to show you, huh? You're not gonna like it. Here you can see the gravel beds here. You can see all the gravels, and you can see how they're getting bigger. See that? Really good sized gravels down here. So this is the channel we decided to chase. See that? All this red material here has fine gold in it. And then this is the cemented caliche that it's all sitting on. Now this big old wooden box that you see down here used to be our panning station, but I moved it out of the way because I had to have a place for the honeypot. So we'll be taking this thing apart and moving it to the other side of the drift. Mind you, this is about 2018 when we're down in this zone right here. So we dug a crosscut into the bank here, and we're finding really good gold, nuggets that were really good. But we also found something else. Now, before I get too far along, we also installed this. This is a slusher. Now, for those of you out there that don't know what a slusher is, it's like a big dragging blade or shovel that drags along the ground. It uses a winch system to pull it forward and back. That way you can move material across the ground into a dump pocket or into a chute. Anything you want, you can string them up anywhere. That's what makes them so versatile, is that you can put a slusher virtually anywhere and then create a pocket, a dump pocket, or some type of a transfer point, something like that. Well, we have a transfer point here from the material we're digging out there. There's not enough headroom in here for a wheelbarrow or an ore cart, so a slusher made perfect sense. So we built a slusher and brought it down here piece by piece, reinstalled it, put it all back together, and I'm going to give you a demonstration how it works. You have two motors. This is the primary motor here, and then the cable from the primary leads to the head of the slusher. And this is our slusher right here. The secondary motor, which pulls the slusher back, is located down here in this pocket. It's attached to the rear of the slusher here. And then there's a snatch block up there on that bar. Down here is the bottom of the slusher. And if you look towards the top, you'll see these two gates. The gates work by sliding open and close to let material out, like such. All you have to do is slide these handles back and forth and it'll open either the front two holes or the rear two holes. And that's very important when you're loading 5-gallon buckets. All right, here's the rear two. See that? And the front two have dirt on top of them at the moment, so I'm not going to open those. The reason why that's so important is because when you're loading 5-gallon buckets, when those first two are full, you don't want to keep bringing material over and constantly filling up, because the dirt will just flow over the sides and then fill your incline up. If you don't do it like that, those buckets will start pouring over the edges and you'll have a really, really big mess. And this is the easiest way that we found to fill up 4 5-gallon buckets using a slusher. Now keep in mind, in the early days, that's how we were digging. 5-gallon buckets, one at a time. And it took years to dig this far. Now we're about 2018 right here, pushing into 2019 back there. And I know for some of you older folks that have been around watching the videos, you know what's back there. You know what I'm gonna show you. But I'm gonna show you how this slusher works real quick first. Here's one of the controls here for the slusher. And here's the other control. All right, now I'm going to give you a demonstration about how this slusher works. It's real simple. And that's pretty much how the slusher works. It's a real simple process, and it's very effective in small, tight places. And as you can see, the floor to the back is only about 4 feet. There's not a lot of room to move around in here. So these are very, very efficient. This was an inland sea at one time. In fact, they had what's called ichthyosaurs swimming around in that inland sea. And as it evaporated, it left seams of clay and it left seams of gypsum, which eventually precipitated into gypsum crystals. And we found beds of them down here. So you have this soft red clay here that has gold in it. This is cemented caliche here. And then you can see the gravels here. Then here, these are the seams of clay that have the gypsum in it. The crystals are starting to precipitate out, and we find large ones, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Then at the top, you have silt. And then at the very top of that is this really, really cemented caliche bed, which means it was very arid back then, very dry. And it's like solid concrete all the way across. As we were digging back this way, we hit something very unusual. Welcome to the Valley of the Caves. See all those? Those are all caves. That's when there was a inland sea draining because of evaporation and climate change. Some of them go pretty far, but the problem is they're not very large. Maybe only 1.5 feet tall and about 3 to 4 feet wide. And we've dug one of them out in particular, and we can hear running water when you get inside. And we've been finding large river rock like this, mostly sandstone. There it is right there. Does that look familiar? That's the cave system that we've tried to shimmy into. It gets really tight. It goes to the left and then it goes around a corner, and it's too tight for me. We've sent remote control cars in there and it keeps going, and I can hear sounds and stuff emanating out of that thing. Now when we get more time, of course we're going to explore that and open it up, but it's very labor intensive. I'm afraid to try to blast it open. I don't know of any other way to dig into it, so if you got suggestions out there, leave me a comment down below of how we can open this thing up. This is about 2019 where we're in right here. We were finding nuggets on top of this old river channel where these old drainage pipes are feeding. So we chased one up and we found some incredibly large nuggets. You can see all the gravels that are up in there and some really red looking sandstone. And you can see the gravels that are attached to the caliche. I just want to show you some of the caves and some of the round river rock. Now some of you old timers out there that have been watching our videos for a while, you'll remember this pocket. But there's tons and tons of gravels and good gold back up in here. And as soon as we get a chance, we're gonna be heading back in here and seeing if we can just blast this whole thing out. Now, if things couldn't get any weirder, let me show you something that's gonna blow those second pair of pants off. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little round eggs. There's one right there. There's one right there. There's a whole bunch of them right there. I don't know if you can see them. They look like little vitamin E pills. And they're round and they're all over the place. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. There's a whole bunch of them right there. There's like 10 or 15 of them. And then there's another one right there where my finger is. You see it? Now, I'm really not too sure what that is, so if any of you guys out there are paleontologists or egg specialists, leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think, because it's got me a little freaked out. So let's venture back over to the junction and we'll pick up there. So around 2019, we backtracked to this junction right here. And the reason why is because we were curious about this really thick red clay seam that has huge gravels in it. This seam right here, see how thick it is? Huge gravels coming out of there. And it just keeps on going. But this stuff, this is as hard as solid rock. You can't blast it because all the energy goes in between these little fractures and seams. So you have to chip away at it. It's really hard. So we decided to head off in this direction, not only because it was really hard going, but also because there's other Chinese drift mines in the area and we thought we'd try to connect to them. Little did we know we were in for a big surprise. Now this drift, we made a lot taller because we were getting tired of crouching over all the time. All right, as you can see, this one's much roomier than the other drifts. Now keep in mind, the taller a drift is, the more muck you gotta remove. But we were willing to do that just so we could stand up. Now when we cut this drift, we used a technique called bench cutting. The way that works is, you cut the top section first, you leave a bench, then you come back with a jackhammer, and then you take out the bottom. It's a lot easier that way. And that's what we're doing now on our existing drift. Now right about here, we started encountering some really soft ground. It was to the point you could dig it with your finger. So we just started incorporating timbering. Now timbering is a long, tedious process. All the timber's gotta be pre-cut on the surface, hauled down. It's gotta be marked for placement. And then if you're doing an incline like this, we like to bolt them all together so it's one single unit. We weren't finding a lot of gold. We were finding some gold, but not a lot. We figured if we went down deeper and we hit some type of artificial bedrock, like a caliche bed, maybe we'd have better luck. And that is when we hit it. If you remember, this is where we punched in accidentally to the old Chinese workings. We didn't know they were there, and in fact, we didn't even notice them up on the surface. Now for communication, we're using these old Vietnam phone sets down here. They work beautifully underground, and I can call up if I need anything. To get them to work, you just crank the handle on the side and it rings the other phone up on the surface. Now about this time period, it's 2020. And when we hit the old Chinese shaft, we were extremely excited. Somebody had covered it over on purpose. It's because they were trying to hide the gold. I don't know why they never came back. We opened up the shaft. Then we timbered it, and we were using that as a main shaft, and the old shaft we were using as an escape way and air shaft. Of course, a lot of y'all remember this tunnel. We carved it not too long ago to create a connection point to the shaft. That's mostly plugged up with a lot of muck, waste, debris, all kinds of stuff. 2020, we dropped the shaft in and we got down to right about here, and then we tunneled down into the old workings and found incredible gold. And that's the only thing we can think of is why they tried to seal it, is to cover it up and hide it. And this is the original pocket, or what's left of it right here. And you can see that we decided to keep drifting forward this way. Now we noticed a lot of the gold was sitting on top of this thick seam of cemented caliche. And it's like solid concrete. We couldn't get through it for nothing. So we thought we'd drift along the top of it, because that's where all the super big gold nuggets were. We decided that it was easier to drop a sump than to try to move that shaft sinking bucket to the face and back again. It was just too much work. So we decided to drop this sump. And in the meantime, I wanted to know what was down below this caliche bed, if there was a bottom to it or not. Well, most of y'all remember what happened when we did that. That's right, we found that big ugly red worm down there. And he's still down there, and I'm sure there's plenty more. And there's a lot of water down there too. Drop the rails all the way down into there. Now here's that fine red dirt, and it's just loaded with gold. And like I said, it's hollow, and there's water right down here. This is where we encountered that red worm down here in the sump. Jackhammering one day to drop it, pulled the jackhammer back, and there was a worm about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in diameter. Real glossy color skin, like a deep blackish red color. And it moves really fast. And you can see fossilized ones online. And in fact, we put pictures up of it so you can see it. And we're gonna keep dropping this down until we either run into a colony of them or we hit a bunch of water, one of the two. Because there's some really good gold down there. And you've seen it too. And in fact, I got a big surprise for you at the end of this video about that red sump dirt. Ooh, you're gonna like that. Now about 2021 to 2022, we opened this up as much as we could, timbered as much as we could, we drove this forward, and in the process, we noticed another channel going off to the right. And those are the more recent videos where you see us uncovering large gold nuggets. We built a small ore car, brought rail down here, and we're using that to shuttle material back and forth into the skip bucket. Now, if you remember when my dad passed away, I always called him my pops. So we named the drift after him. I thought that was fitting. And I know he's down here all the time helping me. So this is Pop's drift, Wobble Pop's drift. Now we're venturing straight and to the right at the same time, which means twice as much labor, twice as much muck. But it also means twice as much gold. To make things easier, I'm bringing my wife down here today, and she can run the metal detector while I'm trying to get the material out of the way. It's just so much easier that way. So much easier with an ore cart. I can tell you that right now. It's so much easier to dig out this top section with a small jackhammer, leave a bench behind, and then go back with the bigger jackhammer and just blow it out. I'm gonna take this drift, my wife's gonna hit that drift. Now I know you're thinking, Jeff, if you're both down here in the drift mine, who's up on the surface working the hoist to get the skip out? She's gonna go up there and operate it. I'm gonna stay down here, and then she'll come back down once she dumps it. Now most of the gold that we're finding here is sitting on top of that super hard fine grained caliche bed, and it's always mixed in with gravels and super red dirt, which has tons of iron in it. And the sump has even more iron in it. But this is where all the big nuggets are, and the fine gold is down in the sump. Now I'm gonna show you a seam that we're chasing, and my wife's gonna be metal detecting today, and I'm gonna blow out the bench that I'm sitting on right now. Here's that red material I was telling you about. Just beautiful looking material. You can see the gravels that are down in there. And that's where that giant nugget came from. And I'm getting another target here. I'm gonna let my wife dig it. And then I'm gonna have her scan all of this to see if there's anything left. You can see a seam of that red dirt right there. See that? So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that 50-pound jackhammer, knock out this lower bench here, so we have a fresh new wall to metal detect. And then I'm gonna have her run in here, metal detect this first, and then that side and see what she gets. Then after that, we're gonna have the big reveal as to why I was in New York City. I know you wanna know, and trust me, you wanna know. And then I have a really big surprise for you. So, I would tell you to keep those pants on, but I think I've already blown them clean off.
We can rebuild. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man. Steve Austin will be that man. Better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Yeah, I just love mucking. I sure wish somebody would come down here and help me besides my wife. But I don't have any takers. All right, I got the area mucked out, about 4 carloads full. And now I'm gonna get my wife on the horn, get her down here with her Minelab, or monster, and have her start scanning this area for gold nuggets. Ooh, I can't wait. And we got a big surprise for you later on. Oh, I know you're gonna love it. And I know it's just gonna blow them underwear right off. All right, I got my wife down here. You recognize her? She's the pretty one. All right, so I'm gonna give her my metal detector because I didn't think about it, but you can't run 2 metal detectors too close because the frequency interferes, right? Mm-hmm. She says, wow, it sure is humid down there. I'm like, uh-huh, yeah. Right?
Yes.
Welcome to my world. I'm down here all the time sweating my booty out. Who needs a gym? Just be a gold miner. She's like, yeah, just get on with it. So I'm gonna have her checking for targets, and then when she finds one, she's gonna dig it, and if she needs help, I'll get the hammer drill out and we'll go to town. Sound good to you? You got anything you wanna add to that?
Wish me luck.
She's my lucky charm. Hey, you know what I'm gonna say? Nah, she doesn't know. She's tired of hearing that. So, all right, let's get to it. Are you set up right?
I'm trying to.
That's your foot.
I know.
Yeah, your settings look good. Volume's up, you're in deep, and you're in manual. Now I got her in manual mode because I can go deeper, but of course it gets a little scattery on the tone. So, all right, it's all yours.
1 pair of pants later.
Sounds funny.
Yeah. That's exactly where we were getting that last signal at.
Maybe I should do it there, huh?
Yeah. What's your indicator look like? Yeah, you're getting a wobble pop on that. I got a pick for you too if you want it.
Oh yeah, please, thank you.
Yeah?
Sounds beautiful, huh?
Yep. Have fun digging in that red clay.
Oh no. It's hard.
Yeah. I would make a joke, but not now.
Okay, not now.
No? You want the hammer drill?
Maybe can be better, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tell me where. Alright, so I'm gonna bring in the big guns, bring a hammer drill because this is really hard for her to dig on, and trust me, I know exactly what she's going through. I'll blow out a big old section and then we'll metal detect that and see what we get. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
It's humid, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, who needs a gym? Just be a gold miner. Yeah, it's still in there. Where are you? Oh, it's out. Should have worn dust mask. You want to recover it? Or shall I?
You should.
Okay. Get my light on so I can see what I'm doing. Oh. Make sure I didn't throw it away. No, it's right there. All right, where the heck are you? Right there. Gotcha. All right. There's another one in there too.
Oh my god. I love the sound.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Nice.
Two of them, baby. All right.
So it's going to be mine.
Oh, you're quick to say that.
I found the first, well, the sound.
In my hand. I don't see nothing. Do you?
It's hiding.
Look at that! Right there on the edge.
Let me see.
Look, 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 look.
Oh my
See it?
god.
Right there on the corner. Look at that. That's it.
Oh my god.
Look at the size of that monker. It's a monster.
Yay. So it's mine because I
why is it always hers?
Oh
That is
my
nice.
God.
Let me clean it up a little bit.
So beautiful. Even like that.
Oh my god. Yeah, see the gold coming through?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, and it's got some, look at that host rock in it. See that? Yeah, it's got some of the host rock, or maybe that's conglomerate. It looks more like the black conglomerate that we're getting down here. See that?
God, that... So beautiful.
Look at that.
Even it's not clean yet. I mean, completely.
Look at that. Isn't that something?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, see, it's got some kind of large rock stuck to it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so amazing.
Huge.
I love it.
It's mine, right?
No.
I like all of a sudden it's coming down to, it's mine nugget. Here, sweetie. Isn't that nice?
That's so beautiful.
Look at that. Let me get my light off of it. It's got some kind of rock stuck to it.
It's so beautiful. Oh my God.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, because yours looks better.
Look at that.
That's beautiful. I need to take a picture like
Yeah,
that.
take a picture. What is that? I want to know what that rock is, though. Look at that. See that? It's stuck.
Huh. That's amazing.
It's running all the way through it, too. That is really bizarre. It's gold, though. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna pull it out. Tell you what, there's nothing like finding gold with the one you love, huh, sweetie?
Yes.
And now you know why I'm always sweating when I come up out of the drift mine, because it's like a sauna down here.
Oh my God, it's hot.
Super hot. Body's hot. It's so hot. Don't you feel my body? Let's see if you guys know what song that is. Leave me a comment down below. Anyway, we got 2 nuggets today, and I got another one in the back wall that I can't get to. That'll be on the next video, so watch that. And I have a feeling it's gonna be a 1 ouncer because it's really, really big and it's deep. Oh yeah, and I got a big surprise for you too, really big. So make sure you stay to the end of this video because I tell you what, you're gonna wanna know. We got the big reveal while we were in New York City. I'm gonna get her out of here. She's sweating to death. She's not used to this.
Yeah.
She's usually up on the surface working the hoist.
Yeah.
Iced tea, anyone? No, so come on, let's go! You want your shells in or shells out? Shells in. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like finding gold nuggets with your wife. Unless, of course, she's a gold digger. I know, get on with it, Jeff. All right, so why the heck was I in New York City? I don't know, it sure is hot in here, isn't it? So I thought we'd have a little fun with this. What do you say? Remember that game show called Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White? Remember that? And you had to solve the phrase? Well, I'm gonna put a phrase up. It looks something like that. If you solve the word phrase and be the first 10 people to do it, you get a commemorative silver coin. It's got a prospector on the front and a ghost town on the back. You see that? Isn't that nice? And I got 10 of them to give away. It's all ours, Blondie. You gotta be the first one to solve this, and you gotta be absolutely correct. Now, I'm offering this to my premium patrons as well, but for my premium patrons, they get some of the boxes filled in with letters. Not only that, we're giving a bag of that sump dirt away. Unsearched, I have no idea what's in here. But if all that gold that we've been finding is any indication, that bag's loaded. And not only that, remember that stuff that Jason from Mount Baker Mining Metals ran? I got a bag of it right here. I'm gonna be giving one of those away too. Plus all the nuggets that we dug up today. And if that wasn't enough, we're giving away a pan of gold too. Ooh, did that just blow your pants off or what? Oh, I tell you what, Slim has done lost his mind. Now, all this stuff that we're giving away is going directly to our premium patrons. It's just our way of saying thank you for all their years of support for helping us keep the dream alive, because without them, none of this would happen. And remember I was telling you about them gypsum crystals we were finding in the seams, clay seams? That's what they look like, big old fat monkers. So we'll probably be giving those away too to our premium patrons. Now, I know you guys have heard me talk about premium patrons and all that stuff, but for those new folks out there that have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm gonna run over it real quick. And for the people who have heard me talk about it, I got something special and new that you had never heard of. For the new folks out there, the way it works is like this. All the gold that we mine out of our drift mine goes directly to our premium patrons. And every chance that we get, we have a giveaway for our premium patrons. It's just our way of saying thank you for all their support for helping us keep the dream alive. Now, not only that, but they're eligible to come out on our 3-day gold mining trips where they find phenomenal gold nuggets. And they also have access to Slim's store that has all of our merchandise in it, including this book that we wrote, Where to Find Gold by Jeff and Slim. 30 years of experience packed in this monker. All of my years as a prospector, geologist, and gold miner crammed into one book, and I guarantee you read this, you'll be able to find gold. You get all that for 10 bucks a month. You can't beat that with a stick. And if you sign up now, you'll be just in time for the end of month giveaway. We're giving away massive amounts of gold. Now, if all this sounds like something you want to be a part of, all you gotta do is look for the little icon at the end of the video that looks something like... looks like that. Click on it, make a $10 pledge, and you're in like Flint. Well, I'm gonna get on out of here, because I gotta finish my breakfast. It's getting cold. You ever try to eat cowboy-style eggs and beans cold? Ah. So, anyway, till next time, this is Jeff Williams, and who?
My name is Jeff.
That's right. Saying you like silver coins, gold nuggets, and pans full of AU? Well, sign up as a premium patron, son, and you could get some too. Take care, everybody.